ليس الغريب غريب الشام واليمن، إن الغريب غريب اللحد والكفن، إن الغريب له حق لغربته على المقيمين في الأوطان والسكن.
So let's listen to Dawah Man, and we're going to show you how similar this individual is to Dawah Man and co. Have a listen.
Anything else? I'm going to bring you another Imam. Ibn Mulaqin rahimahullah ta'ala. He said, كل من خرج على الإمام الحق الذي اتفقت الجماعة عليه يسمى خارجيا. He said, anyone who does khuruj on an imam that is agreed upon by the people, يسمى خارجيا. He is called, he is named, he is referred to as a khariji. So Al-Barbahari is not alone in this. I can bring you more. It's just that it's going to become very long for me to read all of the names.
So as you heard Dawah Man bring that statement, okay, and he said, look, anyone that does khuruj against the imam that the people agreed upon, they call him khawarij. And look, Imam Barbahari, is not alone in this, and etc. etc. So what you saw there was, what was wrong with it? It's presented it quite, eloquently. He gave you the screenshot, and it's very good. He had it underlined in red. This is the problem. You understand what I mean? This is the issue we've got. We're going to dig deep now and show you how much of a fraud Dawah Man is and continues to be. And this individual, this Super Salafi, this freak, even Dawah Man suffering from Super Salafiyya syndrome, and so is Namsi, and all of these, on a high of Super Salafiyya. Trust me, they'll burn out. Trust me, they'll burn out. Now, as you can see on screen, what Dawah Man brought, okay, it's in a similar genre to what Mr. Super Salafi brought, okay, who claims he's ma'soom. Well, that's a joke for me. Who thinks he's ma'soom. He's on a high. He's basically states, okay, so as you can see on screen, this is Ibn al-Mulaqin al-Shafi'i in his book al-Tawdi'u li Sharh Jami' al-Sahih. He basically says, كل من خرج على الإمام الحق الذي اتفقت الجماعة عليه يسمى خارجيا. The same statement, that anyone that rebels against a rightful imam that the people have agreed upon, they call him kharijiyan. Okay? Now look what I've highlighted in yellow. This is what Dawah Man missed out. Okay? And then we're going to contextualize this to the point to show you how much of a fraud these individuals are. So then the next sentence says what? Regardless, even if it's in the time of the companions or after them, like it's been informed and like Sharhstani mentioned in his Nihl. So this statement shows you that when he said anyone that rebels against a righteous imam who the people agree are called Khariji, regardless, even if it's in the time of the companions or after them, as it's been mentioned by Sharhstani in his Nihl. So you could quite clearly see that Dawah Man missed out that important point. Okay? Dawah Man missed out the vital important point that when he said Ibn al-Mulaqin al-Shafi'i, which is not Ibn al-Mulaqin al-Shafi'i, he lied to you. It was Imam Shahrastani who said this statement. Ibn al-Mulaqin al-Shafi'i is just transmitting from Imam Shahrastani. So whoever does khuruj, it says كل من خرج على الإمام الحق الذي اتفقت الجماعة عليه يسمى خارجيا. Anyone who does khuruj, anyone. So look what he says straight after. He says, regardless, even if it's in the time of the companions. So one might wonder now, all right then, if we use that statement, because they're promoting it, by the way, in a very, very mischievous way. But let's use their understanding. If that is the case, we complete the whole sentence. Okay, we complete the whole sentence. We're going to get to the book. Here you go. We're going to get to the book, what exactly Imam Shahrastani said. So, if we use their understanding, the istinbat and the istidlal, how they extracted this as evidence and how they extracted it. If we use that, we just stick on them, we'll agree with them. Salamna jadalan, we accept for the sake of argument that we use their argument. Okay, we use their position. Fi zaman al-Sahaba, even if in the time of the companion. So Husayn radhiyallahu anhu did khuruj, Abdullah ibn Zubair did khuruj, Nu'man ibn Bashir did khuruj, Abdullah ibn Handala did khuruj, Talha ibn Zubair, Talha ibn Ubaydullah did khuruj, Zubair ibn Awam did khuruj, Aisha radhiyallahu anha did khuruj, because Ali radhiyallahu anhu was a rightly guided Khalif. He was the legitimate ruler. They rebelled against him by going to Basra. If we use your line of argument, they are all Khawarij based on this statement. So now you're going to argue and say a technicality. No. But how is it no? Because you used it. So we're using a counter argument. Say, okay then, we salamna jadalan, we accept for the sake of argument. If that is the case, why ain't they Khawarij? Because it says, كل من خرج على الإمام الحق. Wasn't Ali رضي الله عنه إمام الحق? الذي اتفقت جماعته عليه. Who the Jama'ah agreed upon. Wasn't Ali رضي الله عنه the agreed upon leader? يسمى خارجيا. So Hussein رضي الله عنه, even though Yazid would call the person who deserved the leadership, it was Hussein رضي الله عنه, Abdullah ibn Abbas, Abdullah ibn Umar. They were more deserving in taking over leadership. But Yazid was agreed upon by the Ummah. Muawiyah رضي الله عنه got the bay'ah before he passed away, and consolidated just before he passed away as well. And he was elected as the ruler. Abdullah ibn Umar gave bay'ah to him. So he was obviously the ruler. You have to remember Karbala happened way after. So they pledged to him. Okay, so you can't say, well, how could they pledge to him? Look what happened in Karbala. That happened after, during his reign. Then Harra happened during his reign. That's why people have rebelled, because he was the most deserving of the Khilafah. So they are Khawarij according to you. Now, let's present its context. Now, Brother Hajji presents the context. Here is the statement. So Imam Ibn al-Mulaqqin presents it from here, which Dawah Man didn't say. Dawah Man said it was from Ibn al-Mulaqqin al-Shafi, but at the end of the quote it says, as it's been narrated by Imam Shahrastani fi Nihlihi. This is the book, Al-Milal wa Nihl. Let's go into this statement, as you can see on screen. This is Babu Rabi'a in my book, Al-Khawarij. And then he says, كل من خرج على الإمام الحق الذي اتفقت الجماعة عليه يسمى خارجيا سواء كان الخروج في أيام الصحابة على أئمة الراشدين أو كان بعدهم على التابعين بإحسان ولا إما في كل زمان. So look at this. This is the full statement. So listen to this. This is the full statement from Imam Shahrastani, which Ibn al-Mulaqqin al-Shafi'i summarized. But this is the full statement what I just read, as you can see on screen. That anyone that rebels against the leader who is the people agree upon are called Kharijiyan, regardless, even if it's in the time of the companions, against the Immatul Rashidin, against the rightly guided Rashidin, or after them, أو كان بعدهم على التابعين بإحسان, or after them against the companions, or after them against the tabi'in that do good, and the imams of every time. You could quite clearly see, if you contextualize these statements accordingly, that the statements that they use, which is general, has a context to it. Look at the time that they were in. Let's go into this in more detail. As you can see on screen, you got the book Al-Mughni by Ibn Qudama Al-Maqdisi. So Ibn Qudama Al-Maqdisi says, وَالْخَارِجُونَ عَلَى قِبْدَةِ الْإِمَامِ أصناف أربعة. He says that the rebels that go against the ruler, against the grasp of the rulers, are 4 different groups. And then he mentions the first group. He says وَخَرَجُوا عَلَى قِبْضَاتِهِ بِغَيْرِ تَأْوِيلٍ فَهَؤُلَاءِ قُطَّاعِ الطَّرِيقِ. So the first one that go against the grasp of the ruler without any ta'wil are the قطاع الطريق. ساعون في الأرض بفساد. He says that they cause corruption in the land. يأتي حكمهم في باب المفرد. ثاني قوم لهم تأويل, and a group that have a ta'wil. And then there's a second group that the قطاع الطريق as well, but they have ta'wil, whatever the ta'wil is. Then he says the third group, which is what? Al-Khawarij. So they are Khawarij, the one who make takfir, as he says, Al-Khawarij الذين يكفرون بالذم ويكفرون عثمانا ويكفرون عثمان وعلي وطلحة وزبير وكثير من الصحابة ويستحلون دماء المسلمين وأموالهم إلا من خرج معهم فظاهر قول الفقهاء من أصحابنا متأخرين أنهم بغاة حكمهم. He says the fourth group, قوم من أهل الحق, the fourth group that rebel are from amongst the people of truth, and they rebel from the grasp of the Imam with the ta'wil of Sa'ir, etc., etc. And then Ibn Qudama al-Maqdisi does mention that there's a group from them, meaning the Bughat, not from the people of truth, but there's another group called al-Bughat, that they should join the Imam and fight them, which is not a problem. Again, the Bughat also can rebel for the sake of power, okay, not just for truth. They just want to take over, but they're not Khawarij. Ibn Qudama al-Maqdisi says that those who rebel are 4 groups. Let's carry on. Al-Insaf fi Masail al-Khilaf, and this is by Al-Mardawi al-Hanbali. And as you can see on screen, he says in relation to Khuruj, he says جواز ابن العقيل وابن الجوزي الخروج على إمام غير عادل, okay, وذكر خروج الحسين على يزيد لإقامة الحق. So he mentions that Ibn Aqil ibn Jawzi permitted rebelling against the Imam that is not just, and mentioned the Khuruj of Hussein radiallahu anhu against Yazid to establish the truth. So we hear many of these individuals that say Hussein radiallahu anhu made a mistake. No, he didn't. Hussein radiallahu anhu did not make a mistake. When he received the letters from Kufa, this is the point. This is what you people don't. This is Hukbatu min al-Tarikh by Sheikh Uthman al-Khamis Hafidullah. And he mentions that the people gave him bay'ah. The people gave Hussein radiallahu anhu bay'ah, and he had so much manpower. So because of his ta'wil, because of his ijtihad, he'd seen these letters. He sent Muslim bin Aqil radiallahu anhu. He got 12,000 to give bay'ah. And then he sent a letter, and we know the story. Okay? So Hussein radiallahu anhu, Yazid wasn't deserving of power. Hussein radiallahu anhu was the more befitting ruler than Yazid, and he obviously got manpower, and with his ta'wil, with his ijtihad, he got letters from Kufa. He sent Muslim bin Aqil, they got 12,000 give bay'ah. He had sufficient manpower. They betrayed. Long story short, Yazid wasn't deserving of power. Hussein radiallahu anhu, don't make a mistake. You're so loose with your tongue to say Hussein radiallahu anhu made a mistake. But Ibn Aqil and Ibn Jawzi use it as proof to say that Hussein radiallahu anhu rebelled against Yazid li'aqamat al-haq, to establish the truth. So, you understand what I'm saying? You guys just use technicalities here and there, but it's not working with me. And I've also got Ibn Hajar, okay, in Fathul Bari, in volume 15. And under page 374 in my book, as you can see on screen, Ibn al-Hajar al-Asqalani, by quoting al-Ghazali, says regarding those that rebel are of two types. The first that rebels according to their deviant beliefs, and the second is of two types. Okay, he says the second is either rebelling to take over and not according to their beliefs, and there are two types. The first rebel angrily for their religion due to the oppression of their leaders and them not acting according to the Sunnah. This category are Ahlul Haq. From them is Al-Hasan. It says Al-Hasan here, but it's actually Al-Husayn. The people of Medina during Al-Harra, and the reciters that rebelled against Hajjaj. As for the second group, from amongst those who rebel, they rebel seeking authority only, whether they had a doubt or not. They are bughat, and as you can see on screen, this is clearly explained.
لكن تحديت الظروف وخضتها وحدي صبورا مستعينا بالصلاة كم مرة عصف الأنين بداخلي كم مرة قد ذاق قلبي من أساه محن تمر وكم كرهت مصابها لكن رأيت الخير يسكب في أنا كم مرة قد ضقت من عظم البلاء بشر وشيطان يحاصرني أبا كم مرة